The Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team welcomed conference foes Harvard and Dartmouth to town. How did they fare?
The women's ice hockey team faced Princeton in a home-and-home series. Did they take care of business or did they struggle against a conference rival?
And the wait for college basketball is over, Pat. Tom Moore's squad traveled to New Britain for the Connecticut Six Classic. Its opponent, Sacred Heart. And the women opened up against the Patriot League favorite on the road.
And as always, a jam-packed week of sports. We'll show you our top 5 plays of the week. Good evening and welcome to Sports Paws. I'm Pat Pitts.
And I'm Morey Hershgordon. Pat, the cross-country team had a big race this weekend.
Coming off its first Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Championship, the women's cross-country team traveled to Boston for the NCAA Regional Tournament. Neve Ash, who finished second at Max, did not run due to a foot injury. They placed 18th out of 38 teams. The Bobcats were led by 3 top 100 finishes. Sophomores Emily Wolfe and Kaylee Roberts placed 35th and 95th. Senior captain Tracy Campbell, 98th.
And a disappointing last few weeks for the men's cross-country team. A 7th place finish in the conference tournament was followed by a 28th place finish at regionals. Senior captain Matt Mencher ended his stellar career Saturday. The lone All-MAC runner paced the Bobcats all day, finishing in 78th out of 247 runners. Drew Retta ended in 95th. The sophomore will carry the bulk of the load next year with Matt Mencher and Thomas Dextrator graduating. Now we're going to take it to the ice, the High Point Solutions Arena. Pat, Harvard and Quinnipiac, a top 10 showdown. We're going to start in the first period. Quinnipiac unable to score. A little wide on the KJ Typhon-Worth miss. Harvard a little 2-on-1 here, but Michael Gartig has been solid all season long. He cuts that shot off, and the Harvard goalie cuts off a shot late in the first period by Quinnipiac, 0-0, heading into intermission. But in the second period, Quinnipiac would strike. Tommy Shutt, the Minnesota native, number 23, looking like Michael Jordan out there, 1-0 Bobcats. Sam Annis from point-blank range, 5-0. That's right, his 50th goal of the year, Pat. The Potomac, Maryland native has had a tremendous career to date. Pieper puts one in on net, and Quinnipiac taps it in slow-mo right there. Great job by the associate producer staff of Sports Paws. In the third period, though, Harvard would get one back. Here, Michael Gartig with a great glove save. A 6-on-3 advantage for the Crimson would put one past Gartig, and then right off the tap, Quinnipiac scores the empty netter 4-1. Bobcats win. They move to 9-0-0. Tim Clifton after the game.
Right now we're feeling good. We're playing with confidence. We're scoring goals. We're keeping goals out of our net. But I think one of the most important things is we need to stay humble. Good or bad, we need to have a short memory. We get 2 points tonight, and we got another big 2 points on the line tomorrow. Can't relish in a victory for too long. On to the next one.
On Saturday night, Quinnipiac hosted Dartmouth at the High Point Solutions Arena. Michael Gartic starting in net for the Bobcats, and Charles Grant in net for the Big Green. Take this to the first period. QU on the attack. Soren Janssen and Tim Clifton work the puck to the corner. Clifton passes to Scott Davidson, and he's going to put it in the slot. 1-0 QU early.
The freshman's been great so far.
He has. A few minutes later, QU working the cycle down low. Puck is passed to Chase Prisky, and he's going to have a shot blocked. Rebound by KJ Typhon-Worth, who taps it in. 2-0 Bobcats. But before the announcer's not even done with Typhon-Worth's goal, before Brett Patterson puts it on in front. Rebound score by Carl Hassler. 2-1 Bobcats still. But in the closing minutes of the period, Quinnipiac on the breakout gets the puck to Tommy Shutt, who winds up and claps it home, putting the Bobcats up 3-1 heading into the second period. In the second period now, Bo Pieper is going to be in the box for a hooking penalty, putting Dartmouth on the power play. Alex Minor-Barron gives up the puck to Corey Kalk. He's going to get the puck, shoot it, and put it past Gartic. On the power play goal, 3-2 Bobcats. Next shift, Kalk again, he spins around Minor-Barron, but he'll tip it off the post. This goal would be under review, and the refs wave it off. A no goal hits the top of the post, does not go in. Next play, Brett Patterson hits Devontae's dirty hit there, hit from behind. He'll get a penalty on that, and it'll eventually be a 5-minute major and a game misconduct, putting the Bobcats on the power play. And then soon power play, nice pass around the zone. Tim Clifton's going to be waiting at the top of the crease, and he taps it in. 4-2 QU, and the next same power play, but in the third period, Travis St. Dennis gives the puck to Devontae's. Devontae's hands it over to Sam Annis. Sam Annis is going to clap it in for a one-timer, putting Quinnipiac up 5-2. They would get an empty goal, net goal later on, making it 6-2. That would be your final score. Ram Pecknell talked to the media after the game.
Well, I think we just keep taking it, like everybody says, one game at a time. And, again, I don't think we were perfect tonight. I think we struggled a little bit. We're coming off the big emotional win over Harvard last night, 2 top 10 teams. And, as a coaching staff, we're a little worried about making sure we had our energy level up today. And, it wasn't quite what we needed. We found a way to win. I thought we were dishonest at times. And I thought we cut some corners and cheated a little bit to offense. So we need to clean that up a little bit. So again, yeah, we're winning, which is great. I thought we had 5, 6, 7 players that were awesome tonight that won the game for us. We had some kids that struggled tonight too, so we got to get them back.
The latest men's hockey USCHO poll is out. Providence remained number 1 despite not having won a game since Halloween. Boston College stayed at 2. Quinnipiac jumped up to 3rd following a sweep of Harvard and Dartmouth at home. The Bobcats are the only unbeaten and untied team in the nation. North Dakota, UMass Lowell, Nebraska Omaha, St. Cloud State, Harvard, Denver, and BU are there to round out the top 10.
Now let's head over to Gabby Riggy for her ECAC Power Rankings. Gabby?
Thanks, guys. I'm Gabby Riggy, and I'm going to give you my top 5 teams in the ECAC this week. At number 5, I'm going to put a little bit of a surprise team. The 5th seed so far has been a little bit of debate, but I'm going to put the St. Lawrence Saints. To me, Kyle Hayton's an excellent goaltender, only a sophomore, but he carried this team last year in the ECAC tournament, brought them all the way to the championship game. He was outstanding. They're also 4th in the conference in goals per game, averaging over 3 goals per game on the top half with a team like Quinnipiac. I think it's very important they had that good balance of offense and defense that's going to make them key. I think kind of the 4th and 5th spots are anybody's game, but I'm going to give it to St. Lawrence. My number 4 team is going to be RPI. RPI is currently the number 1 team in the ECAC in points, but they and Harvard have played 6 games while everyone else has played 4. To me, they can't stay at the pace they've been going. I can't see them staying at the top for much longer. They should have lost to Brown this weekend in the overtime. Brown's replay equipment wasn't functioning, so it cost them that overtime game-winning goal. To me, if you're losing to overtime and if Brown forces you into overtime, you can't be as strong as you say you are. So I'm going to put RPI as my number 4 team. Number 3, the Bulldogs from right down the street. I think Yale is excellent on defense. They have Alex Lyon in net, who's always going to be a threat. There's so much about this team. Their defense is what leads the way, and I think that's the most lethal part of them. They can shut any offense down. They can play man-on-man defense. It's the same core group of guys that has been with them for the past few years through that national championship and through those past few ECAC runs. So Yale's going to be my number 3. Number 2 for me, I'm going to put the Harvard Crimson. Yeah, they split this weekend against Quinnipiac and Dartmouth, but they still look like an excellent team. They have a lot of those key components that have been there through last year's team that should have gone to the Frozen Four, in my opinion. You still have Kyle Criscolo, you still have Jimmy Veazey. These are huge, huge guys for this team. So to me, I'm going to put Harvard as my number 2. They were my number 1 last week, but they still look like an excellent team. And my number 1, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac. Number 1 team in the pairwise. Yeah, we may agree or disagree with the number 3 spot in the poll, but to me, the pairwise is what really matters. They're 10-0-0. They're a very good team on both ends. They've got 15 different goal scorers. And as Rand Pecknell told me, they're a team that doesn't have a 4th line. You have your goal scoring line and 3 other lines they can roll. And that's what makes this team so dangerous. For the rest of our rankings for the ECAC, Andrew Badillo and I will have them this week for you on Q30television.com. Be sure to check them out.
I might have had St. Lawrence at 4, Pat, but Gabby writes for USCHO, so she definitely knows what she's talking about. But now let's head over to rugby. The women's rugby team, dominated Westchester University to an 84-7 win Saturday in the NCV WRA quarterfinals. Alona Marr led the Bobcats with 3 tries. Junior Maggie Miles and freshman Emily Roscoff added to the scoring. Quinnipiac heads to Brown University Friday to face Norwich in the semifinals. The winner gets either AIC or Army in the championship game Sunday. Rugby expert Tom Cunningham will join us in studio in just a little bit, but Pat, when we return, a top 10 matchup in Hamden. Quinnipiac women's ice hockey looked to stay atop the ECAC. How did they fare?
And the men's basketball team participated in the Connecticut 6 Classic, but was without star guard Giovanni McLean. Could the Bobcats fight off a pesky Sacred Heart squad? Stick with us.
Welcome to A Sheer Sensation, North Haven's premier cosmetology service, located at 140 Washington Avenue, minutes from Hamden. We offer an array of services, from basic cuts and colors to lash extensions and formaldehyde-free keratin treatments. We also provide hair chalk and styling for men. When you spend $60, your Q card will get you 10% off. Call us at 203-239-6477 to make your next appointment at A Sheer Sensation.
Welcome to Joya Spa and Salon in Hamden. Whether you want a new look or the perfect wedding day hair, come to us for complete hair and nail care, cuts, styles, updos, extensions, and beautiful dimensional hair color, as well as manis and pedis, acrylics, gels, and shellac. Treat yourself to a facial, a peel, or microdermabrasion. Relax with a variety of massage techniques, including Swedish and hot stone massage. Joya Spa and Salon. Call today.
My name is Doug Thoreau. For nearly 90 years, 3 generations of my family have been providing the highest quality repair service. Insurance companies will refer car owners to lesser quality shops to save money. At Thoreau Auto Body, we provide the highest quality repairs with a lifetime guarantee to maintain the safety and value of your car. That's the quality you deserve. Thoreau Auto Body, our best work goes unnoticed.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike's sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
All right, how? Welcome back to Sports Paws. Quinnipiac hosted Princeton Friday at the High Point Solutions Arena. Let's take you there. Sydney Rossler fires a slap shot at the blue line. It's going to be tipped in by Megan Turner. Quinnipiac takes the lead 1-0 early in the first. Heading into the second period now, Princeton trying to attack the net, but a loose puck gained by Hillary Lloyd, but she's going to miss the shot on a spinning backhand. Quinnipiac on the power play now. Taylor Ciafrano gives it to Melissa Samaskevich. She goes in for the shot, but it's going to be saved by Princeton. Tyron Bumgard is going to miss a shot in the power play, and that was a common theme really throughout the whole game there, Morey. Princeton going on the attack. They have the advantage, but look at Sydney Rossman comes out of the net and stops the play, keeping the lead at 1. But in the third period, Princeton's Carly Lund is going to put it right in the back of the net, tie this one up at 1, and that's how it's going to finish. Quinnipiac and Princeton tie at 1.
Our league, every night, it's always a battle. You know, you start out the game, and I think that today we came out strong and we were prepared to compete, and Princeton had a great answer for us in the second period, and it became a good battle. And you know, I think a lot of things that happened tonight, we're going to be able to make some changes and hopefully be able to improve our performance for tomorrow.
I thought offensively we had some good movements and stuff. We were creating opportunities. It's just finding the net, really. But I think that's going to be huge going into tomorrow too, so if we can just continue that and keep building.
Quinnipiac and Princeton are travel partners, which means they play the home-and-home series, and the next day Quinnipiac went to Princeton and came out with a 4-2 victory, but it wasn't as easy as the final score looked. Quinnipiac was down 2-1 early in the third period before 3 goals from the Bobcats. Quinnipiac improves its record to 7-1-3 and 3-1-2 in the ECAC.
The women's USCHO poll was updated Monday afternoon. Wisconsin stays number 1 after sweeping Minnesota Duluth. Boston College, Minnesota, and Clarkson remain at 2, 3, and 4 respectively. Northeastern jumps to a 5 after destroying Merrimack 6-0. Bemidji State and North Dakota each drop a spot in the polls to 6 and 7. Quinnipiac, Harvard, and Princeton placed 8, 9, and 10 to round out the poll.
Now we're going to send it out to the piazza with Paul Caracciolo, who's sitting down with women's ice hockey beat reporter Andrew Weiss. Andrew always knows what's going on. Paul, what's going on?
Thank you, guys. Andrew, how are you doing today?
Doing great,
Always
Paul.
a
How are
pleasure.
you?
Now, this women's ice hockey team is a team with a brand new head coach in Cassandra Turner and a brand new goalkeeper in Sydney Rossman. How have they adjusted so far?
Well, so far this season, they've been higher than expectation has been set for them. You know, it's not easy coming in, replacing Chelsea Layden, one of the better goaltenders in the nation last year, but Sydney Rossman's come in, she's played extremely well, a few minor errors in some games, but she's played on her head in other games. So far, it's been a very successful experiment with Sydney Rossman in net. Now, behind the bench, Cass Turner, you know, you replace Rick Seeley, the winningest coach in Quinnipiac history. Not an easy feat to do, but Cass Turner stepped in with few, if any, changes to their success, and so far she's been a huge success for their team.
Now this team has just started ECAC play a couple weeks ago, starting to get into the heart of the season. What did you see in the beginning of the season, the adjustments and the improvements they need to make?
Well, beginning of the season, they started off really hot on offense. Their offensive firepower has been spectacular all season. That's something they worked on at the beginning of the season, over the summer, to improve, to make sure that they were successful in, and that's something that they have been successful in, something that Cass Turner really pushed. Now, beginning of the season, their defensive lapses weren't great. They improved upon that a little bit now, but they've still struggled a bit on defense and in other areas, and that's something that I'm sure Cass Turner is pushing on them to improve upon, but the offensive firepower has been spectacular.
Now, you mentioned the improvements they need to make on defense. Overall, what improvements do you think they need to make as a team?
Well, there are 3. The offensive firepower, as I mentioned, has been great, putting up shots on net. The problem is finishing those chances. They had a scoreless tie against Colgate earlier this year, a 1-1 tie against Princeton last weekend, and they had a 1-1 tie against Western in an exhibition. So their ability to finish their chances needs to improve. That goes hand in hand with their power play. It's the same thing. They need to finish their chances. Went 0-5 at Princeton this weekend, something that they need to improve upon if they want to score more goals, win more games. And finally, the defensive lapses that I brought up earlier, there's something that needs to be improved upon when you have a young goalie or a goalie who hasn't started a lot in Sydney Rossman. You need to instill confidence within her to make sure that she's playing well. If you're giving up a good amount of grade A chances at the in front of her, then you're not going to help her. So that's something that they need to improve on.
Now, you mentioned the power play going over 5. Cassandra Turner, after the game, mentioned how they're switching it up. They're going to take Melissa Semiskevich out, who's a freshman, and put in a veteran, Nicole Connor, who's gritty and gets in front of the net. Now, Melissa Semiskevich, obviously a very highly touted freshman. What do you see from the freshmen this year and how they've been doing so far?
Well, freshmen, usually you want quality and quantity. Not necessarily a lot of freshmen that have been playing well this year, or playing in general this year, but they are headlined by, as you mentioned, Melissa Samiskevich. I could rant about her all day. Her hockey IQ is off the charts. If you watch her play, yes, she has a skill set. She has the hands, she has the mindset. The most important thing to me is her IQ.
Yeah.
If you watch other freshmen, other players on this team who are seniors, who are juniors, they don't play nearly as well as she does simply because of her IQ. She knows where her teammates are, she knows where to put the puck, and that's why she's second on the team in points, and that is why she's extremely talented.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrew. Very insightful.
Thank you, Paul.
Back to you guys at the desk.
Paul, Andrew, thanks so much for the insight. But now let's turn to the hardwood. Tom Moore's team headed out to New Britain for the Connecticut Six Classic at Central Connecticut State. It was Sacred Heart this time around. Tom Moore 7-1 in his opening games. 5-1 in the Connecticut Six Classic. Free throws were a problem all day. The first half was very sloppy. Chase Daniels here loses the ball on the block, gets it stolen, and he commits, just not a smart foul. Kane Broom, though, end of the first half, right through the Quinnipiac defense. The sophomore left-handed point guard finished with 27 on the day. Now on to the second half. Quinnipiac, though, would make a run. Danny Harris, off a ball screen from Will Simonton, lines up from the top of the key and nets that one. The Hillsborough Community College junior college transfer. Splashing home 4 on the day. Donovan Smith. Nice move with the left hand, kid, and the yellow headband. I'm liking it. The JUCO transfer from Trinity College had 9 rebounds on the night. Now a great swing pass from Chase Daniels to Harris in the corner for his second triple of the night. And off a miss here, Donovan Smith corrals the rebound. Bounce pass out to Danny Harris. Great footwork by Harris. It's not all about the shooting. It's all about the footwork to get himself to make the 3 there. Quinnipiac, great transition defense here. They'll push the ball up the court. Dimitri Flores to Harris, and that 3 would cut the Pioneers' lead to just 1. Quinnipiac bench, you see, and they're faithful on its feet, but that's all the Bobcats would have. Kane Broom again in front of the hometown fans. Crosses up Alan Chigo, whoop, right between. Nifty move off glass for Broom. The Bobcats would fall in this one 76-64 to the hands of the Sacred Heart Pioneers. Tom Moore, post-game.
I was obviously thrilled to see that, because when you have a game like this, you're just looking for any positive that you can come out of with. And Dane was one of the positives. I thought, a couple guys played okay and did some things on the defensive end and on the glass, but the offensive nuggets and offensive things we can sort of rally.
Trisha Fabry's women's basketball team traveled to New York to face Army Sunday. The New Look Bobcats exuded depth early to keep the game close. Tied at 46 heading into the fourth quarter, the Black Knights proved to be a little bit too much. Kelsey Minato led all scorers with 26. Sarah Schuin paced the Bobcats with 18. Brittany Martin finished with 16 in her QU debut. And this afternoon, Pat, she was named MAC Rookie of the Week, filling big shoes from her older sister, Jasmine. The women's basketball team hosts Hartford this Thursday morning at 11 a.m.
When we come back, Tom Cunningham will break down everything you need to know about rugby's upcoming matchup.
And the top 5 plays of the week, a mix of the action from the hardwood and the rink. Stay with us.
Laser Medica Derma Centers is a new philosophy in skincare for all ages. We are dedicated to offering the most technologically advanced and least invasive skincare treatments. Show your Q card and receive 20% off any procedure. We also provide microdermabrasion and Botox treatments, all performed in a relaxing spa environment. We are conveniently located at 52 Washington Avenue in North Haven, just down the street from Quinnipiac's North Haven campus. Call to schedule a free consultation and find out how Laser Medica can give you smooth, sexy skin all year long.
My name is Doug Thoreau. For nearly 90 years, 3 generations of my family have been providing the highest quality repair service. Insurance companies will refer car owners to lesser quality shops to save money. At Thoreau Auto Body, we provide the highest quality repairs with a lifetime guarantee to maintain the safety and value of your car. That's the quality you deserve. Thoreau Auto Body, our best work goes unnoticed.
Welcome back to Sports Paws, and Pat, the producers left the best for last. It's Tom Cunningham, who's joining us live in studio. Tom, you're the rugby connoisseur. How you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me.
So Quinnipiac advanced to the semifinals against Norwich. Now, Norwich has won a national championship before, but Quinnipiac has demolished Norwich this season. Does Norwich have a chance against Quinnipiac?
You know, Morey, I want to say yes because, you know, you just said it. Norwich has won a national championship. They have experience. They're a great program, one of the best in the country. But I don't think they have a shot in this game. Quinnipiac is rolling on all cylinders right now, the offensive end, the defensive end. They've outscored their opponents so far this season, 498 to 158, including the playoffs. And you're outscoring your opponents by that much, it's going to be tough to take you down. Norwich does have a couple of offensive players that have the capability to score, but Quinnipiac's defense is very stingy. Maggie Miles, one of the nation's leaders in solo tackles. She's very tough on that back line for Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac also had 9 different players score tries on Saturday afternoon against Westchester. You have 9 different players, 4 of them with multiple tries. It's going to be tough to take you down in a matchup like that.
Tom, how important has Alona Marr been to this program in just 1 year?
Well, Pat, she's been incredibly important to this program. She transferred in from Norwich last season. She won the 15s national championship last year with Norwich, had over 30 tries for the cadets last season. She comes in this year, her first year with Quinnipiac, and the offense really goes as she goes. She plays that inside center position, which Natalie Costco played for the previous couple of years, and we all know how great Natalie Costco was for this program. Alona Marr has filled in those shoes perfectly. 21 tries in the regular season, 3 tries already in the postseason. Alona Marr, this offense goes as she goes. You see the defenses collapse around Marr, and she's able to use that size and agility to work her way around some of the defenders and bring it in for the scores for the Bobcats.
Nothing better than facing your old team for a spot in the national championship, Tom. And speaking of national championships, if Quinnipiac does come out with the win and they bring a national championship back to Hamden, what does that mean for Becky Carlson and her team?
I think it would be huge for Becky Carlson and her team. No team has won a national championship here at Quinnipiac yet. This Becky Carlson squad is in great position to be that first team. I talk about it a lot. Not many people know the ins and outs of rugby. They don't really know how the sport works or a lot like that. It's not as flashy of a game as basketball or maybe the hockey is that we see up at the arena. But if Becky Carlson's squad is able to bring a national championship back to Hamden, I think it is we already see Becky Carlson bringing in a lot of top recruits, some of the best recruits in the nation. It would only improve that. Becky Carlson talks a lot about wanting to get exposure for not only her program, but women's rugby as a whole. And a national championship would definitely do that.
And Tom, final thought, who do you see as the X factor this weekend?
Well, we hear a lot about Alona Marr. We just talked about her. Maggie Miles is one of the leaders of this team. Emily Roskopf coming in as a freshman with 14 tries. She's great. But the X factor for this game against Norwich, I think, is Flora Poole. Flora Poole has 3 tries and 6 assists in her last 2 games against the final regular season game and the first round of the playoffs. I think Flora Poole, she uses her speed to work her way through the middle of the field, and we saw it on Saturday. She had a couple of 20-plus yard runs where she was able to hand the ball off to some of her teammates and to get it in for scores. I think in a game like this, Flora Poole is going to be huge, especially with Norwich's defenders focusing on Marr and Miles and Roskopf.
That's Tom Cunningham for you. TC's always got the rugby lowdown. Tom, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
The women's volleyball team hosted Iona Saturday. Senior day meant Quinnipiac honored lone 4-year player Chandler Thornton, but the Bobcats fell to the Gales 3-1. Sunday was the regular season finale. The Manhattan Jaspers entered the Burn court and dismantled the Bobcats in straight sets. Chris Saplinski's team finished 2015 with a 3-28 record.
And now on to the top 5 plays of the week. Pat, we usually have 5, but this week it's 6. Little tie for 5th, right?
Yeah, exactly, and I'll take the odds, you take the evens. Number 5, we're going to have 2 block shots. The first one is Alex Minor Barron's block shot goal. Look at that play. They block it right off, taking one for the team. And the next one is Tanner McMaster, blocks one right in front of the net, saving one, protecting their goaltender.
On to number 4 now. It's Tommy Shutt. The Minnesota native puts it past the Harvard goaltender. That would be all Quinnipiac needed.
Number 3 is Chase Daniel, invites Sacred Heart to the block party, sending it to the 3rd row. What a play there by Daniels.
If the bleachers weren't 25 feet back, that ball would have been out of the gym. Michael Garteg, though, at number 2. Great glove save.
And at number 1, Sam Annis scores his 50th career goal against Harvard. That'll do it for us tonight here on Sports Paws. Don't forget to follow our extensive ice hockey and basketball coverage during Thanksgiving break on Twitter and Facebook at Q30 Sports.
And we'll keep you updated with everything you need to know on our website at Q30television.com. For the entire crew, my co-anchor Pat Pitts, I'm Morey Hershgordon. Good night.